Hi folks, welcome. This is PowerQuest UK. I'm Adam, as you know, another weekly vlog back with you. Day late. I've been doing so well recently, getting these out on a Monday again. It wasn't strictly my fault yesterday. I had a meeting with some people that I cannot discuss at the moment. Don't worry, it's all good. But it's strictly on the hats. So that's all I can say at the moment. There was one bit of excitement though when some lovely little local lads tried to steal my motorbike. Fortunately we was all in the garden and we was able to stop them from doing so. So yeah, it was some fun and games, but needless to say, yeah, yesterday held some interesting moments. Not only that, but it kind of going on to the title of this video. Why don't things work? Why do things go wrong? It's, as you know, I'm currently recording back off my old Nokia, so I'm hoping this is going to be okay. Now, I kind of shelved this phone because I was getting issues with it. From one, doing recordings, the audio was going, but it was failing its most basic of functions. Yeah, that's a bit of a regular occurrence around here. You don't hear it too much normally. It was failing its most basic of functions in being a phone. If I was using any kind of app on this phone and someone would ring me, the phone would ring, I couldn't answer. There was nothing to come up on the screen going slide, swipe, whatever you do to answer the bloody call. It just wouldn't do it, and I followed every piece of advice and instruction I had to try and sort it out. Nothing worked. So yeah, that didn't fill me full of joy. But I have had this phone a few years. It's taken a fair few knocks, which is kind of the reason why I bought it in the first place. So there was that one. And then I think the final straw, definitely the final straw, was when I was trying to do some audio, some camera work, and I'd had a microphone plugged in and nothing was working. I think that was when I tried to do a live stream from it. And one of the primary reasons why I bought the phone that I've got here, my Nokia XR20, was that it's got a 3.5mm jack on it, as is the one that I bought to replace it, which is why I'm quite limited to what phones I can look, because iPhones don't have 3.5mm jacks, and neither do the vast brunt of Samsungs, which is annoying because I like Samsung. I've got quite a few Samsung, you know, I've got a Samsung TV, I've bought a notebook, Samsung notebook, a couple of months ago I've got a Samsung tablet. They're, you know, they're really good quality products, but I need that jack for running microphones. So yeah, anyway, so that's limited to my choices for replacing this with a Samsung, so with a Sony. So anyway, yeah, as I said, you know, this XR20 done really reasonably good service over the past few years, but as I say, then it started not being able to answer phone calls, the primary function of the phone, and then not being able to do videos off of it, you know, because the audio was just playing up. And not just that as well, it was something that we kind of doing from the start, in that if you tried running the sat-nav and let's say radio player, I now plug into Android Auto, so that's a bit by the by. But before that, when I had, you know, the phone on my phone holding on my bike, and you know, I wanted the sat-nav on plus listen to the music from my crash helmet, the radio player app would just stop, and it would take multiple attempts to start it again. You'd start it, you'd get down the road, it would stop, and you're like, you know. So I'm like, great, you put up with it, because it's not the XR20 is not a high-end phone. It's reasonable, but it isn't, you know, up there with the higher models. So you kind of put up with that. But as I say, when the phone stopped doing its primary thing, and when the camera's like playing up on, so I'm sitting there thinking, right, let's look around. That's when I bought a refurbed XR20. And once I'd set it up, it was immediate. That phone was like, oh my god, this is a lot better. the amount of memory it's got, the processing power, and the camera is fantastic. You know, and I'm thinking, you know, great, it's, I've got a proper phone here. You know, it's going to be able to do what I need. So I bought that a couple of months ago, I think it was. Reset this XR20, shelved it. So I'm now running off of this Sony quite happily. It's doing everything I want. The battery charge is reasonable. You know, and it's done everything I've asked without complaint, including running radio player and the sat nav at the same time with no issues whatsoever. And as I said, the camera, if you go to my other channel, Adam's Autos, because I've just started a new project over there. It's an old FZR 1000, but I bought in about a week and a half ago. And there's one bit in there where I'm chatting away like I am to you right now, and because my lockup is basically directly opposite Southend Airport, I'm chatting away, and it was a bomber or a transport of World War II vintage had taken off and it had flown over, and I zoomed in. It was quite clear, and it zoomed in really nice, you know, which it's quite unusual for mobile phone cameras. Not if you've got a proper camcorder, which I also use, and DSLR. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is great. So yeah, fantastic, happy with the Sony. And then last, I'd say, couple of weeks, it started flashing up with a message saying camera overheating. Oh, great, wonderful. But you could still use the camera. It was still able to do what I asked, really, even though I had this message. And then a couple of days ago, it stopped working altogether. I think this was Saturday. It just stopped working. I was with my daughter in Halfords, was trying to get her e-scooter sorted out. And just for a laugh, I'm like, there's a little troll push bike in there. And I just said to my daughter, I was sitting at, you know, take a couple of pics, and it just went, didn't want to know. So then I'm looking at it going later on, oh, it's coming up camera error. The LED flash wouldn't function as a torch. It's a message saying camera in use. It's not. Even the front camera wasn't working, so I'm like, what the blazes is going on with this? So then I've tried stopping, you know, doing the full stop app and all that sort of thing, seeing if there's any apps that's using it that may be causing an issue. As I could see, there wasn't, so I then went for a hard reset, which is wiping all my data, you know, and you're starting afresh, which frustrating. I thought, well, let's give it a go. That's what some of the forums are saying. Done that. No joy. And then as a last resort, I read on another forum about downloading Sony's Xperia Companion, which is software you can put on to your computer, and you plug your phone in, and it basically does, it's like a hard reset extra. It will reload the software on there, on your phone. So I'm thinking maybe that will do it, because one or two people suggested that's what's the issue. So I did that last night. It was a bit, how can I put it? It was a bit frustrating being able to do it, because, well, I live on a boat. I use my phone for internet. That's I hotspot my phone, and all my internet devices on the boat I will turn on as and when needed, and they will connect to the phone and use that as the internet. And it's saying need to connect to the internet to get the software to download, and you can't do that because the phone's off and being reset. So I had to take it to work, connect my laptop to their Wi-Fi, and then put the phone in, do it that way. So yeah, went through that process, nothing. So there's clearly a hardware problem with it, and Q1 pissed off me. I don't know if I can send it back, because unfortunately I have dropped it. I had a case for it, because I know I'm like, that's half the reason I bought an XR20, because I know I'm a clumsy so I put it in a case, which fortunately saved the screen and so on. But I don't think, but that was way before the phone started coming up with overheating issues. I don't think that's been the trigger for it. So, but the flip side is, if I send it back to the refurb and they say we've got damage from a drop, what do you do? So yeah, so the upshot is I'm going to drop this phone into a local repair shop. I'm trying to find one that's recommended. One or two of the guys I work with have suggested this X shop, Y shop, so I'm going to go to them and see what they can do with it. But it's just so frustrating. Why are these things just got to play up, you know? Or is it just me? Is it just is it just me that I cause the problem? I don't know. You know, you buy these equipment because you're looking for specific things, and you get it, and it's like, oh, you just don't want to work. What's going on? You know, it's not like Sony ain't having a flub night company. You know, I've got Sony camcorders which are brilliant. I really don't get it. Anyway, that's enough of me moaning. I will get it sorted out. So what I'm going to have to do at the moment, if the XR20 that I'm recording off now is okay, then I'm going to go back to this for the time being and do that. I don't know. But anyway, so that being that, we've got a next live stream coming up next Monday, which is the Ask a Medium. And obviously, you know, it's your chance to talk to us guys about all spiritual stuff and get cards read and all that sort of thing. Adam might be back with us again from Paranormal Essex. You know, he's a good friend of mine. You know, we've known each other for a good 4 years now, really. When we met up, when we both, not long after we both first started our respective social medias. So hopefully he'll be back on next week. If there's any other special guests, you'll find out, because I just don't know yet. But yeah, so the next live stream's next week. Ask a Medium. That's next Monday. Hopefully Gloria, Rudy, myself, Jeff will all be back on, and you can talk about all things spiritual. So that's that. One last thing, we've got recorded content coming up this week, well, tomorrow now, and that will be the follow-up to the visit to the abandoned house, and there was actually another property behind it which was also abandoned in a state of disrepair. So after we'd been to the cottage, we'd been into that workshop thing which you saw in my last bit of recorded content. If you don't, go back and watch it. And this one will be the visit to it was like a bungalow that was behind a cottage, and we got some great stuff in there as well. I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to go and have a drink. I think I need one, especially after this week. I will see you tomorrow night, and love and light. God bless a lot of you. See you then. Bye bye.